What is anti-consumerism? Why does it matter? And what can you do about all of the implications of consumerism and what it's doing to destroy the world? I mean, there is an answer to this. So, anti-consumerism. Anti-consumerism is the belief that you shouldn't spend your entire existence chasing after material possessions that you don't really need. Marketing and advertising on social media is constantly making you think that you need to buy all these things in order to have this glamorous life. You don't need to buy any of that stuff. Like this face lotion right here. I got it as a gift. I love it. But like it comes from Burt's Bees, you think. But no, it actually comes from Clorox because Clorox bought Burt's Bees. And then where did it move all of the production to? We don't know. Do you know? Like they don't just readily make all this information super available. So a lot of the time, these companies that are making our clothing or our beauty products or whatever other consumer things that they're pushing on us all the time, they're often made overseas. And if they're made overseas, then you don't know the working conditions because there's no labor laws in some of these countries. And these people can exploit people. They can put them in unsafe and horrible, dangerous working conditions. Like this plastic bottle. You know, you think you're just buying lotion, but this bottle's made of plastic. And where's the bottle made? Now, there's a documentary called Trade Secrets where it talks about people who were working in plastic factories here in the United States. And some of these people were exposed to the plastics and they had the bones in their fingers dissolve. And they got horribly sick and they died. Horrible, awful, icky deaths. Painful, disgusting deaths that they shouldn't have died. They died decades younger than they should have because they were exposed to the chemicals in the plastic plants here in the United States. And then, you know, a few people sue and they move the plastic facilities overseas. So now other people are being exposed to those chemicals in a place where there won't be lawsuits, in a place where there aren't labor laws, in a place where there aren't environmental protection laws. So whatever chemicals are being processed, they can also be polluting the environment, the planet that we live on, besides the fact that they're hurting people in these factories. Have you heard about what goes on in the Apple factories? The high suicide rates? I've never owned an iPhone in my life, and I've never owned an iWatch in my life because I know what goes on in those factories. But that's like one factory that we actually know about. Like, how many factories are there that we don't know about? So, anti consumerism is the belief that you shouldn't own a lot of stuff because you don't want to be overwhelmed by all this stuff. But also, it's also a belief that you shouldn't contribute to all of these systems that are harming the environment and harming people, human beings. Oh, God. I mean, like, people, you need to care about other people in other parts of the world that you don't know about. They matter. If they're dying from working in factories, it's just sad. If what you're buying supports an evil corporation that's supporting the killing of other innocent people in other parts of the world, you need to care. So that's why it matters. That's why it matters. But what can you do? So instead of buying Burt's Bees lotion, this was a nice gift. I'm not saying I don't appreciate this gift, but instead of buying lotion, one thing I can do is I can use olive oil for my skin. I can use coconut oil. I could support local vendors that use locally sourced ingredients to make nice beauty products. There's some at the farmer's market. They use glass bottles instead of plastic. I mean, I could look into that. What do I do instead of buying a shirt from a company that might be making their shirts in factories overseas? You can buy a secondhand shirt. Or you can go on buy nothing groups. This is my favorite thing because, like, when I was an anti-consumerist back in college, I would go to Goodwill and I would go to the Salvation Army, but there weren't a lot of options. Now there's buy nothing groups. We didn't even have Facebook back then, back when I was in college and dinosaurs were on the planet. Now you can just go on Facebook, search buy nothing. In my case, I searched Buy Nothing Olympia, and there's a local group where people are just giving away clothes that they don't want anymore. I got these pants on Buy Nothing Olympia recently. Love these pants. Thank you, Sophia, for the pants. And I didn't pay for them. She didn't want them. They were a gift to her. And then rather than, you know, give them to Goodwill, who's just going to make a profit off of them and pays people minimum wage and no benefits, she gave them to me. And now I'm wearing the pants for free and they're super comfy. So check out your local Buy Nothing group. Think about ways that you can reduce your consumption. Think about buying things secondhand rather than having them shipped to you from a factory overseas in plastic packaging that's just going to end up in a landfill. And all of the fossil fuels that are being burned to ship them here. Just cut out all of that. Just buy something that's local and not going to end up in a landfill because you bought it if you buy secondhand. So that's what you can do. All right, well, hopefully this ripples out into the universe and makes even just the tiniest, littlest, itty bittiest impact. And then I'll be grateful that I made it. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.